The United Kingdom is rewriting its immigration rulebook, and for thousands of Indians who dream of a life in Britain, the pages are being torn out. He faces a harsh reality due to a nationwide crackdown on immigration, targeting Indian restaurants and migrant-run businesses.
Blitz is underway. The government is cracking down on illegal immigrants. There are widespread raids and arrests at warehouses, car washes, vape shops and restaurants. In fact, the immigrant enforcement there, they raided 828 premises, including an Indian restaurant. Does this mean...
In early 2025, a harsh new reality is dawning, fueled by a nationwide immigration crackdown and a seismic shift in policy.
Particularly around illegal working. That's why we've had a 50% increase in illegal raids and arrests. And
immigration enforcement teams are conducting widespread raids. In January 2025 alone, there were 828 raids, resulting in 609 arrests, a dramatic increase from the previous year. These actions have often targeted businesses like Indian restaurants. Data from late 2023 already showed that Indian nationals were the largest single group affected by such raids, accounting for 14% of the total. This isn't just about enforcement. A barrage of new rules effective from July 22, 2025 is systematically making it harder for Indian citizens to work, study and settle in the UK. The message many feel is painfully clear. So, what is happening? Why does it seem the UK no longer wants Indian migrants? Today, we are dissecting the government's new playbook, rule by painful rule. We will explain exactly how the dream of a life in the UK is being dismantled for so many, and we'll explore the deep contradiction of a government that signs a major trade deal with India with one hand, while pushing its people away with the other. To understand the future for Indians in the UK, you need to watch this until the end. To get to the bottom of this, we have to look at the blueprint. In May 2025, the government published a policy document titled Restoring Control over the Immigration System. This isn't just minor tinkering, it's a complete overhaul designed to cut net migration fast. Let's break down the 5 key changes that will have the biggest impact on Indian citizens. First, the skilled worker visa has been fundamentally rewritten. For years, this visa required a job offer at what's known as RQF Level 3, equivalent to A-levels. His covered a wide range of essential professions. As of July 22, 2025, that door is slamming shut. The government has raised the minimum skill level to RQF Level 6, the equivalent of a university degree. This single change is devastating. It immediately disqualifies an estimated 180 different occupations. Think of the highly talented chefs who have made Indian cuisine a cornerstone of British culture. Unless their employer can prove to the Home Office that a head chef position requires a graduate-level intellect, they will no longer be eligible for a visa. The same applies to vital roles in IT support, trades and hospitality that don't typically require a degree. The pool of eligible jobs has shrunk dramatically. Second, a critical lifeline for many has been severed. The visa route for social care workers is being closed entirely to new overseas applicants from July 22, 2025. This is a monumental shift. The UK's National Health Service and private care sector have relied heavily on migrant workers, including tens of thousands from India, to care for the country's most vulnerable. It was seen as a stable, accessible path to a life in the UK. While those already here on this visa can extend their stay until 2028, the government is phasing the route out completely. For anyone new hoping to come and work in care, that pathway is now a dead end. Third, and perhaps the most psychologically brutal change, affects the path to settlement. For most migrants, the ultimate goal is indefinite leave to remain, or ILR. It's the point where you can truly call the UK home. For years, the standard journey to settlement was 5 years. The government is now doubling it. The standard qualifying period for settlement is being extended from 5 years to a staggering 10 years for most work visa holders. Let that sink in. A full decade of temporary status. A decade of visa renewal fees, health surcharges, and the constant anxiety that your right to remain could be revoked. It makes long-term life planning, getting a mortgage, starting a family, truly integrating, feel almost impossible. The government has mentioned a potential earned settlement fast track for some, but the details remain vague and unconfirmed. For the vast majority, the message is stark. Your sense of security has been postponed for a decade. Fourth, The financial barriers are being raised to skyscraper heights. As of July 2025, the minimum general salary required to obtain a skilled worker visa has been jacked up to £41,700 0 pence. This figure will make it impossible for many businesses, especially outside the high-wage bubble of London, to hire from overseas. Many perfectly good graduate jobs or roles in the creative and charity sectors simply do not pay that much. And the costs are piling up for employers too. The government has also announced plans to increase the immigration skills charge, a fee levied on businesses hiring foreign workers, by 32%. Faced with thousands in extra costs and a mountain of red tape, many UK companies will simply give up on international recruitment, further shrinking opportunities for Indian applicants. Finally, the government is taking aim at the next generation. The graduate visa was a game changer. It allowed international students, after paying huge tuition fees, to stay and work in the UK for 2 years post-graduation. It was a vital bridge that gave Indian graduates a fair chance to find skilled work. That bridge is being shortened. The visa is being cut from 2 years down to just 18 months for undergraduate and master's students. Losing those 6 months is critical. It forces fresh graduates into a frantic job search to find a sponsoring employer, an employer who must now also meet the new higher salary and skill thresholds, almost the moment they finish their exams. When you connect all these dots, the picture is undeniable. The UK's legal immigration system is being re-engineered to deter and exclude all but the highest earning, most senior level migrants. The consequences are already here. This isn't a future problem. According to the Office for National Statistics, in the year ending December 2024, Indian nationals were the single largest group of non-EU citizens to emigrate from the UK. The report directly attributes this trend to the tightening visa rules, with a growing number of students and workers choosing to leave. The exodus has begun. But here is where the story takes a truly bizarre turn. At the exact same time the government is building this fortress, it's also rolling out the red carpet for a major UK-India free trade agreement finalised in May 2025. This deal is all about boosting trade and cutting tariffs. But hidden inside is a deeply controversial clause. It creates a special arrangement for a select group of Indian workers, specifically those on intra-company transfers, seconded by their Indian company to a UK branch. This group will be exempt from paying UK national insurance contributions for up to 3 years. The government calls this a standard part of a trade deal, but the criticism has been fierce. How can you justify giving a tax break to a small group of corporate transferees while making it prohibitively difficult for an Indian doctor, engineer, chef or care worker to even be in the country? It sends a deeply cynical message that the UK is open for Indian business but closed to Indian people. That it wants access to India's market of over 1 billion consumers, but is turning its back on the very individuals who form the living bridge between our two nations. So when we ask the question, does the UK still want Indian migrants in 2025, the government's actions speak louder than any words. The raids, the rule changes, the doubling of the path to settlement, it all points to a clear and deliberate strategy of deterrence. For the millions of Indians who saw their future in Britain, that future is now in serious doubt. This is a complex and emotional issue, and we want to hear from you. Are you an Indian student or worker in the UK? How have these changes affected you or your family? Are you now considering leaving? Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. It's a vital conversation. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. If you found this report valuable, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more analysis, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you next time.